like a painter because the graphic design elements are just it's like a photo. Just bear with me. This is obviously me as a toddler doing a little painting. This is my brother and I. So as an entrepreneur, people like how did you get started? Like what got you into it? And I think for a lot of myself, I grew up with a family business. My dad makes music strings, and so my brother and I grew up with that like in our basement of our house. And in addition to that, my parents started us out young with these excess veggies in our yard. We would go door to door and sling green beans to people for $2 a pound. And so that kind of instilled this like entrepreneurial spirit within the two of us. Okay, so fast forward like 20 years. I'm a comp student, like trying to figure out what I want to do at Portland State, and Etsy is like really taken off. And I'm also kind of a self-starter, and when I see kind of a business opportunity, like how can I get into this? And so I literally, this was like my first intro to design. I like knew that dogs and cats were like a really big thing, and I created this poster, which I'm sparing you guys what it looks like, but it said, I honestly tried to find it, but couldn't find the file, weird. But all you need is love and a dog, and it was like a dog silhouette, and like, just love, dog. And it was hot. I had like wholesalers in Texas, like the Midwest was like a really good spot for it. And so I was like, cool, like I could do something with this. So I was learning a lot of Illustrator, doing tutorials online, and then I like went on Craigslist, and I like found a couple like logo gigs for like $50. I can really do this. And so I just started doing that. And then this brings us to my first project at Portland State, where I somehow got into, like not upper level, but like not the intro to type class, one after that. So, and we were designing type. And so I was like, I should do chili pepper alphabet. And so that's what I did. And I loved the program, and everybody that I met was just super welcoming. It was the first time that I was at Portland State, and I really felt like I was making friends, and my teachers cared, and I was really excited to transfer over, which I did. And so I continued doing that, and I graduated within 2 years after I had my prereqs out of the way. And then this kind of transition, so what was your name?
Ryan.
Ryan mentioned, so I'm a designer, but I'm also a painter. And on social media, I portray myself as a painter first and foremost, as an artist, but I also obviously am a designer as well. But transitioning kind of into the art world, this is my first like sketch painting, say, that I ever did. And I actually started doing this because I went through like a really shitty breakup, and I didn't want to look at my computer. I was like crying in the shower every day, and I was like, I need to do something that's like different and gets me to kind of express myself in a therapeutic way. So I started painting, and it's kind of like my first sketches or paintings, if you will. And I was posting them on Instagram, because Instagram was starting to kind of take off a little bit, and I was getting a lot of people like, this is really cool. Like, would you like paint something for me for my birthday? Would you, commission? I want to commission a piece. And I was like, whoa, that's like a big word, but sure. And so that kind of started growing. And then in the midst of that, I was still in school, and my good friend Lindsay and I started a good market, which is like still lives on today. And the kind of idea behind it was to, like people who had all you need is love and a dog, maybe something that they were like a little bit more proud of and they wanted to sell. We started this as like a small Christmas bazaar, and it was 60 vendors like the first time we did it. And in a program this size, that was pretty significant. So I'm really stoked to see that that's like still alive today. And then back to painting, I started doing, this was at West Elm a few years back. They do a lot of pop-ups. I'm sure you guys have been to, like, not the Saturday market necessarily, but kind of that idea of like renegade craft fairs, pop-ups where you can sell your craft and get your word out there, get your work out. This is at Anthropology. So just kind of, utilizing, I'm from Portland, so I knew a lot of people who grew up here. Oh, hi, Liz.
Hi, sweetie.
I remember when I was a kid, and Liz was like, we're gonna bring you back, like when you're graduated, and like that's actually happening.
I did not lie.
Anyhow, so just growing up here, I had a good amount of like connections and friends I could reach out to, and So I literally just cold call, email people, and be like, hey, like, do you need art in your store? Are you doing for anthropology shop for First Thursday? And it's really Portland's still small enough that you can reach out to people and they will listen to you, they'll respond, but they want to help you. And I really took advantage of that as much as I could. And still do today. So this is a little bit of more of my recent work. I work on large-scale canvases, a lot of mainly commissions or just work that I sell mainly through Instagram as well. These are my best sellers that are like outside of painting. I sell out at every show. And it's funny, I actually did this for a show in at Portland State. I don't know if you guys know. Yes, it's the water under the bridge. Anyways, I have one of those if anybody wants anything. This is my first studio. I feel like as an artist, it's so important to, you know, kind of like self-care, like invest in yourself. And when I was like, okay, I'm gonna get a studio just for my art, and like when I graduated, that was a really big deal for me. And yeah, I highly recommend that because I was so much more productive and a lot happier just having space. I was like, this is for me. I'm investing in my work and my practice. This is a photo from a show I did at Ristretto on Williams back in January, a studio shot. This is a larger piece. I did for a show at Jailhouse Studios. This is another show, a show I recently did for Sarah for the 420 event. And some mural I'm working on at the moment for a coffee bar. If you guys are familiar with Ole Latte, it's like right down the street. So that was one of my first design clients. I started working for Todd, his owner, and he was like, oh, I was like, you need some like design help? I know the logo still needs a lot of work. I'm like working on it. But you know, designing a variety of things for him, website and all that, that was kind of my way in. And now he's opening a brick and mortar, and so I'm painting the mural on the coffee bar, which has been really rad. Current stuff that I'm working on, I've wanted to get into fashion for a while, and my friend Krista designs shirts, essentially. This is one of them. And so we're working on a collab right now where I'm going to paint a really large, probably like the size of this silk canvas as a large painting, and then we're going to make 4 one-of-a-kind shirts out of that. And send them on Instagram. And then I'm doing a residency with the Cheng Hotel in August. I'm really excited about it. And, yeah, this is like a way of ending it. Let's Get Coffee. I'm sure there's a lot I haven't covered, and if you have any questions, like, I'm an open book. Send me a message. I'll get back to you, and I'd love to, talk to you about what you are passionate about and answer any of your questions.
Ooh.
Hi everyone, my name is Lexi, this is Cody, and we run a business called Dynamo Ultima. We previously were known as Statewide Studio for a couple years before we rebranded ourselves and renamed ourselves. So we basically help outdoor brands create awesome videos that will help, get people excited about what they do, and like if they do environmentally friendly stuff, we try to make videos that promote that. Sorry, and the reason why we rebranded our business is because our personalities are kind of like, we're silly and weird and funny in a lot of our videos that we make. So we needed something that was a little more like fun, if that makes sense. Oh, we also run our business out of our solar-powered super van. So we live in a van and we run a business together, and it's pretty crazy. Because running a business yourself is hard, and living in a van is also hard. So it's kind of a challenging thing. But the reason why we wanted to live in a van was because our ultimate goal for our business was to have people pay us to travel the world. Like, that's like super fun. And we also wanted to make stuff that matters and stuff that helps the environment in some way. So by practicing a lifestyle where we consume less stuff and we have solar power and we aren't using like as much water and electricity, we're consuming less, which is our environmental practices lifestyle and unique story makes us stand out to outdoor brands. So it's kind of like a circle strategy that we have going on. So like our lifestyle, what we do attracts outdoor companies, and then we make videos for them. So cool. Yeah. So this is me working in our van in Big Sur, which is awesome to work next to the ocean. Here's what we've learned about being our own boss. So this is something we learned the last year. You can't possibly be good at everything, and it's good to narrow down and pick a niche. So when Cody and I first started our business, we obviously were designers and photographers, so we did design, photography, branding, websites, like everything. And that's just like not attractive if people are hiring you for a specific thing. Like it's kind of like if you're building a house and you want to hire someone to make cabinets, you're not going to hire them if they also make cars or something. Like that's just too much stuff. So it's good to pick a niche, and that's why we are just doing video stuff now.
So she's really good.
Next thing is it's okay to ask people for money for the work you do. And this is something that I feel like every designer or person that works for somebody struggles with is like feeling like scared to be like, oh yeah, I need to pay my invoice like right now because 3 weeks over the deadline or something like that. It's just like kind of scary, but it's okay to ask them for money because you work really hard and that's your like you're making a living. Another thing is if you build it, they won't come. So if you like spend all this time making this beautiful website and a bunch of like awesome stuff, but you don't promote it, no one's gonna show up. Like you can't just like post a website and expect people to know that it's there. So you have to like tell people about it or promote it on lots of stuff. Don't do things because it makes other people successful. Basically, if someone's doing something cool and you do the same exact thing, you're probably not going to have the success that they did. So it's better to like follow your own path. And always use a contract. So if you're going to do any freelance work, use a contract, like even if it's for your friends, because they're one of the issues if you don't. Bonsai.com, I think this is a good one. So here is some examples of work we've done. This is a branding project we recently did for a food cart in Southeast Sandy is where it is. It's called Let's Roll, and they make sushi burritos. You should go check it out because it's really good. This is another branding project we just finished. It's for a wedding photographer couple. And then this is for Stanley, which makes thermoses. Basically, they sent us from Seattle all the way to Utah to go to an outdoor retail show to like bring these thermoses on an adventure. It was interesting. And then we also worked for Fjall Raven. We did some photo shoots of their products for them. Stay Well magazine, we did like a video and photos for them. Yeah, we don't do branding anymore though, but I just thought I'd show you guys. So here's our top 3 tips for you. One is be different. So figure out what makes you unique and different and that will make you stand out among all the other people who do design and video and stuff like that. Be persistent, and I say that because a lot of the time you're gonna get a no if you like apply for jobs or apply for anything. You're just gonna get no's a lot, and you just have to just be confident and just keep going and keep like, trying. And even if someone says no now, just mean like 3 months from now they'll say no. And be social. So that's the #1 thing actually that we've learned is all the connections you make and just like reaching out to people is the best way to like get a job. just make friends with them first, and then they'll trust you to hire you for something like that. Yeah, that's it. Follow us. We have a blog, and it's really interesting. You should watch it.
Stall. Oh, no, I'm here.
What do you think it's made? Wow.
The internet?
Great. How's it going, guys?
Woo!
My name's Luke,
Woo!
and I started a small business called Flume Leather Company. What is Flume? Can you guys hear me? Am I doing this nicely? Is it too loud? Good. All right, great. So Flume Leather Company is something I kind of recently just got going. And it's kind of a crazy name. Flume is actually a term for a natural waterway. It means it's what's used to describe a winding stream and a deep ravine. And I kind of found that pretty powerful to describe this company because it's kind of swimming up against current against a lot of other bigger companies. And it's not the only one in town. There's a lot of people doing this. And it's definitely different. Every stream is different. And we're really trying to be focused on making things unique and niche and really intentional with the design. And solely based on a waterway because its in-house and handmade process is actually devoted to protecting those natural waterways. Leather has a really sketchy past of using crazy harsh chemicals, balms, and oils. And it's just stuff that would just go straight into the rib, and that's no bueno. So I created a process just out of my garage that has a really honed-in process with the natural pigments that I use for coloring and the plant extracts for treating, and everything is so natural, it's crazy. Nothing goes down the drain, it's super clean. And it's kind of what makes Flume a little different than everybody else in town. Not that everybody's super harsh, but I think I'm the only guy that can say that. Who's Luke? That's me. I'm a current PSU student. I have class with a lot of you guys. Currently going through portfolio. I'm freaking out about that. But I've been a maker forever. I've been losing my dad's tools in our garage since 1994. So I've been screwing around with stuff too much. And now I'm studying design. I'm having a blast with branding and visual identity. And that's really been able to kind of mold a lot of what Flume has become recently with the new branding. Why am I doing this? Because I've been to way too many schools. I've been to, I got the chance to start college when I was in high school. And I started at Mount Hood Community College to study engineering, which was great. And it got me to Oregon State University, where I studied mechanical engineering. And to make that financially possible, I also went to Lynn Benton Community College right down the road from there. And a little bit down that road, I found out I wasn't up to all the math that comes with engineering. I love the making and designing, but I should never be in charge of how a bridge is built. So I should be glad I'm not an engineer anymore. And I kind of totally changed tracks and went to a fine art school, Western Oregon University, where I did a lot of painting and sculpture and awesome stuff, until I was pulled into one of my instructor's offices, where she told me to change schools and go into a product design or a industrial design school. And it was awesome. She wasn't mean about it. She actually brought up a ton of resources and like actually brought up my work and showed me why I would be good at these things. Like, oh, geez, okay, Mary, thanks. Bye. So I hit the road and I got into a transfer program at Chemeketa Community College in Salem. That was a transfer program into the Art Institute of Portland. So I was there for like 2 weeks. I actually didn't even take a class. I kind of got out of there quickly because I found out more about the program and found it wasn't for me. So I jumped into PSU 7, like 2 weeks before term. I got a Mac 2 days before class because I decided to go into graphic design. And I've been tricking you guys into thinking I'm a graphic designer this whole time. So how did it all start? I think Fluent Leather Co. actually started probably in this room while I was at show and tell, because my sophomore year, when I was thinking I would only be at PSU for a part-time while I was trying to transfer to another industrial design product design school, PSU invited Sam Huff of Tanner Goods to speak at a show and tell, and he brought in crazy cool examples of his leather goods and his business model and how even things like graphic design can translate so seamlessly to other business types and other types of design. I was really inspired by that, and after connecting with him afterwards, he got me some really good references on how to kind of like fit my design style, even with this program, in something that can be more tangible and a little more handmade. So that was great, had a ton of fun. So even from there, it wasn't the leather guy that told me to get into leather. I had some really good friends in the program that, after freaking out about the sophomore portfolio review, we were like bored in the summer, and we all just started getting stuff from scrap down off the burn side, and we all started messing with leather in Mimi's living room, and we had a blast with it. And everybody was doing their own thing, different styles, different tactics, and I kind of just, even though everybody kind of went their own way with it and probably got out of their system, I could not quit making the same thing over and over again to like prototype and to make it better and to straighten my stitching and all that stuff. So it kind of made me realize that I was testing my own products, and it made me realize I was kind of meant to do something where I would perfect something and really build a product line for it. So it was a ton of fun. And even with that, while I was prototyping all that stuff, I was looking at the other guys in town that were making leather and how I could be different and how I could literally design outside of the box by not just making square wallets and featuring like this white bounding box that all the type is in. It's actually the signature curve that's on every product that I make. It kind of holds the rules of thirds, the natural curve, and the proportions of threes that's found in nature and so many other good design aspects. That it's actually an every piece. So it's, even though it's completely different function, form, it always has that kind of signature to it. What has Flume done? I just had it had its first year anniversary at the end of March. It was a blast. It's been alive for a year. I'm doing something right. And with that came new branding. That was a blast. That's when I got the Viewmasters made, and I got to host a great event at my friend Philip's place, Coffee Beer. It was a ton of fun. Through that first year, I got to do a bunch of seasonal lines with other artists, photographers, and designers. Just have a blast with it. Being your own boss, there's no real rules. You don't have a marketing person telling you, wait till you like those people will buy it. And sometimes people didn't buy any of the series, but it was so much fun getting models, photographers, and directing a photo shoot at the beach with crazy blue leather stuff. It was a ton of fun. And since then, these kind of seasonal lines and these crazy themes have kind of brought the Instagram up a little bit and its little social presence. It's not thriving, but it was enough to kind of catch the eye of West Elm, Portland, and a couple other spots for a lot of pop-up shops. And it's been really great to feel the support for being asked to all those, and also support them in other fundraisers. That's a pop-up fundraiser. What's in the future? I have no idea, because if you would have asked me 2 years ago, I wouldn't even thought about doing something like this, but I love it, and if it can become a real thriving company, I think that'd be a blast. I'm looking into, I'm graduating very, very soon here, but even going back and taking some business classes at PCC and building up the numbers side of this thing, that could be great. But for now, I think this summer I'm going to go crazy with retail. You guys have any connections or ideas? Throw them at me. Custom accounts are great. I'd love to partner with bars or restaurants to get people really cool custom menus or check things with their stamp on the front. And yeah, we'll see where it goes. I'm very excited with the new branding. It's implemented a little bit, but it'll be all the way through the website in the next 20 months. It's going to be awesome. So, here's some of the great people I've got a chance to work with. Amazing photographers that I've never honestly paid anybody to work with me. They've been so nice and such good friends that they've either gone for a trade or even just gone for coffee instead. They're just way too nice. And I've been able to work with some like popular photographers, some of my favorite artists like Evelyn, Aaron, and Jamie. Piper did some lettering for a series, and then like legitimate models that get paid like so much just to get their picture taken, and then would come be around with us. And it was yeah, love it. Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
I'll take the shorty one.
Is that cool? Hey guys, how's it going? That was awesome. Thank you all. Thanks for quickly prepping for the pages too, because I know this past week was like, if you guys are ready, we'll just throw a few questions, and then you have an answer, you can pass the mic around. First one is, how did you squeeze in time at PSU to make your business? And like, what motivated you to start while you were in PSU instead of just waiting for it afterwards?
I mean,
No, not yet.
weird I think honestly it's priorities. Yeah, just if you're really passionate about it and you really want to get shit done, like you're gonna make it happen. And that's really, I wasn't like a partier, not that there's anything wrong with that, but like I just worked my ass off, and like it was really important to me to, not have a year after college where I was like, oh shit, what am I gonna do? Building that kind of rapport with clientele, even if it's part-time, really pays off when you graduate.
I would say that being a student, you have so many liberties that you can take because you're a broke college student. I've kind of played that card so many times about contacting people and saying, hey, I'm a graphic design student in AMD projects and part of the Friends of Graphic Design, and all these goofy links at the end of the email to make it sound very official. And I'm getting extra stuff done besides school. People love that. They're very willing to help. People love to help college kids, and I don't know what it's like to not be one, but right now people are very helpful. And, even during school, I've been able to get a lot done while taking classes. I think it's just fun working after work and going crazy on it. And even if you do go out, maybe not get the
I wasn't like
even so, like maybe not getting the old-fashioned for the cheap PBR, and then throwing that extra $5 at Flume instead of a drink and stuff like that. It's you cut where you can, and that goes with time and money and social time too. So there are a lot of sacrifice, but got a really fun thing to show for it. It's created other opportunities, so that's fun.
Well, I had a bunch of internships while I was at PSU, and after working in like an office, I just did not. I don't like doing this. I don't like as bad as it is to say this. I don't like people telling me what to do. I want to decide what I want to do. So I think my Cody and I both like are like passion to like make something for ourselves. Like we really spent a lot of time in our business while we were in school, and we try to make a lot of our school projects like kind of go with our business, or like if we found a client, we would try to include it in our school projects if we could. So I think it's just like takes the right kind of person and the right kind of like mindset to do both at the same time. Really cool.
We also like had plans to move to Japan, so it's like we needed to kind of build something on to support that. So that was kind of like our idea. starting in school, so all the time.
Okay, and this is actually a good question for you guys in a minute, because what was the process of branding for your own business like? It's like you could totally create this, just like what your rebrand. How was that versus the original stuff like that?
So I don't know if anyone is into outdoor stuff, but the outdoor industry is like ridiculously popular right now, and everybody is a photographer. Everybody like does outdoor. Yeah, I don't know. The photography part of it was really crazy. And our branding that we used to have kind of looked exactly like every single outdoor brand. Like, they all look the same. So we were like, we need to make something that stands out and that looks really different from everyone else, because we're just going to blend in if we don't. So I was like, well, what what do people like not do in the outdoor industry? It's like crazy, ridiculous colors, and we made our website like all black. Most websites are all white. We made ours all black. But yeah, it was really interesting. The rebrand was really hard at first. It took us a long time to actually come up with a new name, because we, like, right after we graduated school, we wanted to rename our business, but it was just like, we didn't know what, and we didn't want to just pick anything. So it took us like a year, and then we finally picked Dynamo Ultima.
Yeah, rebranding is hard. Branding yourself is hard. Being your own client sounds like it'd be great because you just do whatever you want, but then finding out that like being your own client, nothing's ever perfect. It's never exactly how you want it to be, and eventually you kind of just have to realize that okay, it's not gonna be perfect. It has needs. It has to meet. Does it meet those needs? Does it look rad? Is it different than every other leather guy in town? That kind of thing. That totally won't do it, but also fun. So the end result's a blast. Get to way too big of a stamp to put on these wallets now. So it's like a 5.5 inch metal stamp I get to put in stuff. Yeah, that's where I got to have fun rebranding myself to whatever I want. It's cool.
Well, I haven't rebranded myself since student portfolio. So, I mean, branding yourself kind of sucks. I mean, it's, but I think the main thing is the same way you would with any, like a client, you have feedback back and forth. Show it to people that you trust their design instinct and, get feedback. Because I've found that a lot of times I'm like, oh, this looks really cool. I'm just going to put it on here. And it's like, really, you could probably do like additional work to it, or it's not good. So just getting feedback with any other design.
Thanks. So, like, to now, what has been the hardest part of running your own business? And like, what were some unforeseen challenges? Like social media, like running net versus like being talking with people. What was extra tough?
I think, taxes suck, Side note, if I just got a letter from the IRS, I was saying I owed an additional $1,600, and I was about to pay it, and then I called them and they had made a mistake. So, like, make sure that you check that, because you never know. And I think the hardest thing is you're just wearing all the hats, like, it's very easy, especially, like, I'm always like, okay, I gotta do this, I work on something, and then I remember I have to do something else, and I'm like, okay, I have to do that, and so just, like, making lists and finding ways to be organized, and setting aside time for your studio. Like, it's very easy when you're running your own show, you're like, oh yeah, like, I have time for cocktail, I have time for coffee, like, making sure you are, dedicating time to all your work so that you are showing up.
Taxes suck. That's my big one. I have a lot more than $1,600 this time. It wasn't a mistake. And yeah, figuring that out last minute in April was a bit of a bummer. But now I know better for this year. So the second anniversary will be a happier one. Other than that, maybe not so much unforeseen, but some of the downsides of being your own boss is if something doesn't work out, then there's no one else to blame but yourself. it really, the end result is almost all of you. Whatever you put into it is what you get out of it. Sometimes if it sucks, it's like, either it just didn't work out or I could have done better. But then again, the good stuff, when it works out, awesome. It's like, heck yeah, I did that. Great. So it worked out.
Our one of the hardest things we've learned actually is the hardest thing about running your own business is like finding clients, especially at first, like when you're first starting out and you don't have, like if you didn't work at a studio or an agency before you decided to do a business, then you don't have as many like connections to like talk to, which is what Cody and I did. We kind of just started a business, didn't have agency experience, we just started our own agency. So that was like kind of challenging, but we learned that the best way to find any clients is just to reach out to people that you think are cool. And they'll obviously say no a lot, but there will be that one chance where someone's like, yeah, you're awesome. Like, I do want to work with you. But we've actually gotten all of our client work from word of mouth and referrals, and that's like the best way to get clients. So make sure when you do get a client, you take care of them and you over deliver. And you just do a really good job because they'll refer you to people or they'll come back to you for more work. And that's where a lot of the jobs come from.
Struggle would be like uncertainty of knowing because there's like a seasonal like request for like I don't know like clothes and stuff. So like people will, like August is like a very slow month for us that we've learned. So like we have to make sure we're extra prepared in like July.
Okay, thanks. So on like a little bit of a lighter note, what's been the most rewarding and exciting and cool thing that's happened? Like meet cool people,
The most rewarding thing is we've just met, since we travel in our van, we just message people on Instagram because we're going to be in the area and they're like, oh yeah, let's get coffee. And then we meet these people and we've become really good friends with a lot of people we meet. And it's just really fun to run your own business, really, because you can just decide what you want to do. If you don't like what you're doing, you can just decide something different the next day. Like, kind of how we decided to rebrand. We're like, we don't really want to do branding because everyone else does branding, so we're going to do video stuff now. And it's cool because you can just make that decision for yourself.
I've had some really cool moments since I make products that eventually go out into the real world. It's been a blast to be recognized for that. Even though I'm this little guy off to the side, sometimes things come up and people will recognize it. Like when I was paying for coffee at Water Out the other day, the cash guy on the cash register was like, "Oh, is that Food Lemon Wallet?" Yeah, dude, that's really awesome. And like he told me to do the Instagram. He was like, it was just so cool. And someone else that works at Apple texted me and was like, dude, somebody just bought an iPhone. They pulled the money out of a Food Lemon wallet. It was rad. So things like that, when it's like a sneaky little thing that you see out in the world, it's like, oh, and it's fun. It's really cool.
I think freedom, really, that's like, at the end of the day, like you have the freedom to do whatever it is that you want. And if you are successful enough, you'll eventually have people coming to you being like, we trust your artistic judgment, do what you will with this project. And that's the best thing ever, because then the world is your oyster, you can do what you will. And also, I mean, I get to travel a lot and I can write off my taxes, I can have, you know, working remotely, you can have clients all over the world, and like, that's really tight. Like you can travel and write off.
Then I think this will be our last one, but we can open it up to other questions. But how have you guys transitioned your business or planning to or post PSU life?
I essentially transitioned right away. As soon as I was out of school, I just ramped up to full-time and just had to take on more work. And the transition is you're getting paid for like 100% of the work rather than 25 to 50% when you're in school. That's a big plus.
Oh, I have plans after graduation. It's going to stay pretty low key. Flume as it is now is definitely not financially supportive of just me. If I were to bring somebody else into the mix, it would be harder. But I do have a studio job, and this is my side hustle that I still spend a lot of my time on. So it can remain a side hustle and kind of have really fun, honed-in custom projects for custom accounts, or I could keep getting more retail, and if more retail turns into a real thing, it'd be amazing. If we want a business partner that has a good calculator and stuff like that. So I'd love it if it worked out, but right now it's totally labor of love, and kind of keeping it on the side to make sure I still love it.
So right after we graduated, we kind of just like took on any project that we could really. That's kind of what we were doing for a while. Then obviously this rebrand represents a transition, like where we're like, we don't want to take on anything anymore. Like we can actually like narrow down our focus on one thing. So that's why we're doing video projects now, because after getting a bunch of different types of projects, we realized that we enjoy doing video work the most. Like it was the most fun. The projects were like bigger, and we were able to, I don't know, I guess we just didn't like design as much as we like making videos. Like we liked the art direction and the creative direction of video projects. And then Cody obviously went to film, like graduate film degree, so he's pretty good at that stuff. So I think just kind of like that.
Any, you guys have questions? Anybody? I kind of have one, so I'm gonna ask it.
Do it.
Oh,
I do too.
yeah, what's up?
Just maybe some advice for taxes for those of us who are starting freelance but haven't really. Just, I mean, I know set aside a big chunk, but like, what else would you guys say is good tax advice?
Of everything, like everything that you buy and everything that you, all your income. And also a really good thing to do, you can get a separate bank account just for freelancing stuff, which is really helpful.
Calculate your write-offs. So it's really helpful in the end. So all that chunk that you have to take out of your freelance check isn't all gone. It actually comes back to you eventually. So I just have the mileage, the food you get on a business meeting, crazy stuff, Netflix if it's part of your process next to you. All that good stuff.
I try to think of it as, the money I make in a year isn't mine until after that tax year is over. Like, then that's my money. Like, until then, you never know how high taxes are going to be, and it's just smarter to kind of think of it that way. But yeah, having your own like credit card that's like just for your business purposes, super helpful, because there's so much software that you can just like check business.
Thanks, guys. My question was, what is something like you didn't think that you would have to focus so much on? Like, did you not realize like how much work social media is, or did you not realize like how much time you have to spend going from like meeting to meeting? Like, how do you manage time? I guess is overall the question.
I think that, so before I had a studio, I would be going like across town meetings all the time. I would spend so much time in the car or the bus, and now having a studio next to Water Art Coffee, I'm just like, moving at Water Art Coffee. And then, like, I can just do all my meetings, first half of the day, and it cuts down my travel time significantly. Yeah. Oh, also, we're both from Troutdale, Oregon.
Pretty much how do you manage time? I feel like that's
I think one of the toughies for me is that each order is made to order. So if somebody orders a purse, that's a big one. That's going to take a while. Then I have that terms and conditions way at the bottom of the website that says, hey, your order is made after the previous order. So if somebody buys a bundle of logs right before you, yours will be made right after. And almost kind of coming at it at a legal standpoint, and kind of protecting yourself against people that can complain or demand a refund or something like that would be kind of tricky. But time management wise, just knowing your stuff, staying up late. I'm young, I don't have to sleep up now, so work through the night usually happens. But be wise with it.
So we live in a van, so still not out there again. So like whenever we have to like send emails or do anything internet, it's really hard to find that in the middle of nowhere. So we really have to manage extra hard, like our internet time at cafes and managing like how much data we use, because if you go over 25 gig limit, you get charged like $15 for every gig. So that is a really difficult thing.
Yeah, it's kind of nice not having internet all the time because we spend a lot of time working on stuff and not being distracted by Pinterest and Facebook and YouTube videos and all that stuff. And Netflix, we don't watch Netflix or TV. So we just have a lot of time really to work on business stuff. But yeah, we do plan specific time slots for when we're emailing our clients or uploading stuff to the internet. And, yeah, so it's kind of
Any other questions? So, I guess first question related to my second one, are any of you like were or are Isaac students? It's not bad. My question was gonna be like, so like I'm not a state student, and before that I was someone who like moved like 8 years ago. So like as someone who's trying to be a designer, like how to adjust in like a new place, like I don't really know a lot of people in Portland. I don't even like I have a person that lives in the streets in Portland. So someone's like, this building's on this street, and I'm like, all I know is a PSU campus down there. So like I guess my question is just like how did you like go about like adjusting or like getting yourself out there and like learning about the community that while being a student.
So Corey and I were in a different like city like every 3 days. So one way we do this to meet people is social media. Like we've met so many people that do cool stuff in the places we are, and all we do is just message them on Instagram. We're like, hey, we're gonna be in the area. You do really cool stuff. We should hang out. And they're like, okay. Most people will meet up with you. You just have to be friendly, really. Like no one's gonna be like, no, I don't want to hang out with you. I mean, they might, but like the worst thing that can happen is they say no, and then you just ask somebody else. I think it's really important to be social on social media instead of just like hiding and just liking people's pictures. Like comment on people's stuff, and just be friendly with them. Eventually, the relationship will grow, and then you can hang out with them in person.
I think this is a really supportive program, and it like almost doesn't force you to, but it's a great way to get you plugged in with the design community, specifically in Portland, and gives you the skills to branch out to Seattle and everywhere else that has a strong design community. Because we've got things like First Thursday, and we've got Show and Tell, and we've got so many art openings every day almost. You can just look up things on Eventbrite, and go hang and meet people, and have a drink, and connections is a gross word, but I've made great friends, just like hanging out with people, having drinks after a show and stuff like that. And that's probably where I've made the best situations for possible business to happen in the future. So being social in real life too is a great way to meet people. And if you don't know Portland, get lost and then find your way. That's all I learned.
What was your name?
Deidre or DJ?
DJ. Cool. Nice to meet you. What year are you in the program?
I am a sophomore program.
Cool. Well, if you want to get coffee, like I know a lot of people, so we can talk. And two, I think like two things is like being genuine. Like people people don't want to work with assholes, we all know that. So being genuine when you talk to people, like kind of like what Lexi was saying, is like if you talk to people, you're friends with them, they're, Portland, there's a lot of entrepreneurs. People are starting a business, they're gonna need a logo. They're like, oh, DJ, like, are you interested? But yeah, being genuine and just like asking, I don't know if you're asking more for like just meeting people and like a design community or like connections for freelance or both. But I think being genuine and like asking, like that anthropology gig, I literally went on LinkedIn, found like the regional director of like the West Coast, and I was like, hey, I really want to work with Anthro. And she connected me to the people at Anthropology in Portland, and that like just made it happen. Like, and literally, you'll be so surprised. I would say 50% of my clients are just from me just asking, and then the rest is like word of mouth. But yeah, honestly, though, send me an email. We'll link up.
I'm actually going to say something too. I remember being a sophomore, and it's hard initially, like, especially if you're not from here. Like, I moved from a tiny, like, microscopic little town in Southern Oregon where it's like, we go fishing and hunting every weekend, and that's all we do. And so, like, coming up to the city, it's like, okay, like, I don't know anybody, like, trying to get used to stuff, trying to figure out, like, work and everything. And the sophomore level is when I was like, these people are, like, so cool. Like, when you're freshmen, you're, like, still learning everything. But I feel like at the sophomore level, that's when I was like, holy cow, I want to hang out with these people. I want to learn from these people. I want to work with these people. And so I don't know if you're on the FOG Facebook page, but definitely hop on there. That's a lifesaver, even for me now. And there's like, just like hang out in 320. Like, come up here and hang out. Or instead of like working in your room, if you like don't go to a cool coffee shop yet or somewhere you like, come hang out in our buildings and just like work and say like, yo, what's up? Tell the people walking in. It'll totally help. And like, I don't consider myself that social person. I like to do my thing, go home, do more work, and then like do it all over again. But definitely just like finding somewhere where you have contact with people will totally help. Benefit that. You know. Any other questions? We're good on. We got like 4 minutes.
I am really impressed with all of your social media presences. They really like polished and professional, and I know that that's so for like students. So maybe talk about how you thought about making yourself look so professional.
I just like to. I think part of it is like Instagram has changed so drastically in the recent like months and years, and I think a lot of people, even for myself, are feeling now with the new algorithms, we're getting a lot less kind of like stories are taking off now. Like I'll get 1,000 views on stories and like maybe a few hundred likes on photos. So I think it's like good photos, interacting with people, and posting content that is interesting to people, being genuine. But also, I mean, it's a fine line, right? You want to have the aesthetic, but you also don't want people to be like, okay, your lip doesn't say that, because it doesn't really look like that. But just being forthcoming with that, I think is helpful. Oh, and also collabs. Like if you, sorry, I know I should be the point person for this, but I think when you get a lot of collaboration with people. If you're working with a brand that has like 100,000 followers and then you maybe have 1,000 and they like put you on blast and feature you, whether that's a blog and you're a designer, you're like, this is like, a little interview about me that, design stuff posted. Like, obviously that's going to elevate you in the Instagram community. That's a good organic way of growing followers, which is important. You want lots.
There's a lot of little tricks to kind of help your posts and things to hit more people, because it's kind of what it is now. You have to hit somebody and intrigue somebody in less than a second because they're just scanning and double tapping. But setting up your Insta with a business account that shows you analytics of when the most people are on at what time, and showing you what posts did well, it kind of zaps the fun out of it. If you have a fun Instagram, I have a personal and a professional, so I do all the work on professional. I post 2 pictures of my girlfriend on my personal one. But there are a lot of tools to kind of help you hit traffic hours and to kind of curate your Insta to maybe do 2 or 3 times a day. and that links to your Twitter and your Facebook. So all three are pretty much working together now. And Snapchat is its own entity, but that's pretty huge too. Making filters for your pop-up shop, or being able to start your own personal store in that same area. It's kind of crazy. That's where all my advertising goes. I've done paid advertising on Instagram. It works great. Like a sponsored post goes a long way. And even we were thinking about doing campaigns for Be Honest and for Fresh, and even like setting up a paid for ad for Instagram would be great to kind of like highlight specific areas. Like, oh yeah, the studio you want to work at is in Northwest. Highlight that area and like pay a $10 ad to just like hit people with your work. Stuff works. It's crazy. So it's been a big tool for me. Mine personally isn't thriving, but it is kind of where we get a lot of the sales. So it's important to curate a cute Instagram that works.
So, I'm just going to promote video for a second. I think video content is the future of everything. Everyone would rather watch a video than they'd rather look at pictures. Like on Instagram, you're just going to scroll through that really fast, but there's a video, like stop and look at it. And I think that just video content in general is way more powerful. So even if you're like a hand letterer, you could like video yourself like doing some hand lettering, and I feel like that would get a lot more attention than just like a picture. And then one thing we've also learned is what we're working on right now with our YouTube channel. SEO, search engine optimization, is like key to like getting followers or getting people to notice what you're doing, because you have to research like what's like not necessarily trends, but like things that people look up a lot and that have low competition with other people posting the same thing. So if you, I don't know, you gotta find the right like keys or hashtags or whatever to put in your post so that it's shown up more in people's feeds. And also like being really consistent with uploading new content. If you just post like once a week, you're probably not gonna get any followers, honestly. But people like watching you. But if you post like consistently and kind of make it just a big effort in like a lot of the stuff you do to help promote like what you do. Yeah, everyone should do videos. Instagram stories are awesome to start with if you're uncomfortable with like cameras. It's just like really fast and it goes away really quick.
I'm also gonna promote videos and say that you're posting on Instagram, like people are just gonna forget it and they'll lose it the day. And something like YouTube, like if you search in Google, it'll still pop up. So if the longevity of posting on YouTube is way more efficient than Instagram posts. And
Okay, I think that's all we got time for. Is there any other announcements we have to do?
No, I think that's it.
Actually, the Oregon storyboard field trip tomorrow. Few slots in, that would be great to get this filled out. So you can go to the FOG, PSU, Tumblr to sign up for that. And next week is in Bethlehem, so come out next week.
And also stuff for Kate.
Oh yeah, if anybody has any business cards or stickers or anything that you want to give me, I'm gonna put together a little package for you. That's it. All right.
Can I just say, if you guys have public presence, if you guys want any, and also like you guys can go talk to us if you want like
Yeah,
like small questions. Yeah.
I've got some stuff we got to do. Business cards. Thanks, guys.
Awesome.